Oh, yeah. Is it Thursday already? Darth Maul was in Andor Season 2, and we all missed it. Absolutely insane. I don't know how this got past us. Every other Star Wars fan who watched Season 2, we missed it. We somehow, all collectively as a Star Wars fandom, missed Darth Maul in Andor Season 2. Absolutely insane. We got some other cool stuff to talk about today. As heir to the Empire, I think I've cracked the code, okay? I think I know how they're doing the canon version of Heir to the Empire, and all these similarities between the canon version and legend version I've pulled up for us so we can look at all these different connective pieces between legends and canon, moving in to the big blue meanie, taking over the entire galaxy in an heir to the empire like event. So without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? Yes, I mentioned it last stream, but I'll mention it again. This is the last live stream of the week. There will be no live stream on Saturday because I am going on vacation. I know, craziness. I take time off. Everything stops. Everything comes to a halt. No more live streams. It's the end of the world. But we'll be back after next week, back in better than ever as per usual. So I'll just look a little bit more tan, hopefully, and we'll go from there. But yes, this is the last live stream of the week. Keep that in mind. So celebrate today a lot more than usual, because it's the last time we'll be talking together for the rest of the week. But we got a fun stream today because Darth Maul was in Andor Season 2 and we all missed it. It's craziness. Maul Shadow Lord starts next year, and we got to talk about this Heir to the Empire stuff. But before we get to any of that, as per usual, let's say hi to everybody in the chat. All right? Ficone, what is up? Kyler, how we doing? Brandon Baker, what is up? Fearless, how we doing? That guy B in the house. 50 Thunder, what is up? Manda United, how we doing? Starship 66, what is up? Darth Plagueis lives, how we doing? Officer Murdoch in the house. John Groom, how we doing? All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Agnes, what's up? If I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, so I think we got to start with this Darth Maul stuff. This blew my freaking mind. As a content creator, one who prides myself in trying to find Easter eggs in shows, I can't believe this got past us all. Like, we are, what, a whole month since, or more than that, probably a month and a half since Andor Season 2 has come to a close, and we're still finding new details. We're still finding Easter eggs in that second season. That's pretty wild. For a show that's not really connected to much else except for Rogue One in the original trilogy, that's really not lightsabers or Force or lore building. It's got a shit ton of Easter eggs, like an insane amount of Easter eggs. Luthen's Gallery, of course, is where most of those Easter eggs are found, but you have connections to the Rakatan Empire, which we talked about last week, and now we have Darth Maul. So let's take a look at this. All right, let's just read this. Why not? Why not? This article from Screen Rant. Let's take a look. Andor Season 2's secret Darth Maul reference revealed. Take a look at this. Andor's production designer Luke Hull has revealed a stunning, albeit surprising, Darth Maul Easter egg in the show. Andor, it was undeniably a labor of love for the entire production team, as much Star Wars projects are. Everybody who works over at Lucasfilm just loves working on Star Wars. Plain and simple. Like, they just love doing Star Wars. So you get all these really cool Easter eggs just thrown in there because the people who are working on the show are like, why not do this? Because it would be cool. And that's why you get so many cool little Easter eggs in Star Wars. This show is currently being pushed for no less than 23 Emmy Awards, which means everyone involved is celebrating their work. So I don't know the real numbers here, but I'm pretty sure that might be the most of any Star Wars project. That could be completely wrong, but 23 sounds like a whole shit ton. But production designer Luke Hull took to Instagram to share one of the stunning Gorlectopods, the spiders of Gorman. Spiders, murals from the planet of Gorman. And this is what it looked like. And this is what it looked like, chat. This is wild. So not only was this on Gorman, the planet where Calkite is, and these spiders, spider-looking things, are creating the... Hang on, sorry. One second. Sorry. Creating this silk, or whatever you want to call it, to create the very famous clothing that Gormans create across the galaxy. But that's clearly Darth Maul's face on purpose. And he's a spider. Many of you may know, if you've seen The Clone Wars, give me a 1 into the chat if you have. I certainly hope I see a lot of 1s in the chat. If you've seen The Clone Wars, then you know that Darth Maul was once one with the spiders. His bottom half was once a spider. When he falls down the tube after getting sliced in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Phantom Menace, he doesn't have legs. And surviving off of the anger and rage for revenge for Obi-Wan Kenobi slicing him in half, he finds himself a lower half that's spider-esque. Dominic, what's up? And for somebody over at Lucasfilm, because Maul is on the mind, I mean, they're making a Maul series next year. For somebody over at Lucasfilm to go, look, we got this whole planet full of spiders on Gorman, these very important spiders that make all this silk and stuff for our clothing. Why not, because spiders equals Darth Maul, because he was once a spider, why not give us a cool little Easter egg of Darth Maul, his face on a spider? Nobody will notice. Now, it's really, really cool, honestly, Easter eggs like this still being in Star Wars. It just continues to prove the point that people who are working on Star Wars absolutely love the IP and love doing all these cool, fun stuff for the hardcore fans like ourselves for when we try to find these things. Still to this day, we are finding Easter eggs from the prequel trilogy, from the original trilogy, from all these other Star Wars projects that came out years and years and years ago. And now Andor can be added to that list. Now, it wasn't released years and years and years ago, but we're still finding Easter eggs a few months out in this show, and I'm sure it will continue to go that way. But this is pretty damn cool. I mean, that's clearly Darth Maul's face, and it's confirmed by the production designer himself. So he posted that on Instagram. As noted by Jammin333 on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, this design is deliberately evocative of Darth Maul. When the Sith apprentice was resurrected in the Clone Wars, he had the cybernetic spider legs added to the mix, making this Maul reference so very smart. Andor Season 2 is true labor of love. Andor had a mammoth size of $650 million budget. That's both seasons combined, not just Season 2. So it's not really a surprise to see how much care and attention went into every aspect of the show's design. This particular Easter egg is a smart one, though not least because it only makes sense with pretty deep Star Wars knowledge. It's a lot smaller on this screen, and I don't know why I turned to look at it on this screen when it's way easier to read on my left screen. It's even better given how subtle the secret is, too. If you don't know the Clone Wars, if you haven't seen Maul as a spider, you won't even understand the reference. But us hardcore Star Wars fans, us crazy people that dissect every little thing, it's a pretty great little reference there. Tony Gilroy has often credited the production team for the staggering number of Easter eggs in the show, particularly in Luthen's gallery. That certainly fits with this one. It's been pretty publicly known that Tony Gilroy is not the biggest Star Wars fan. Not that he doesn't like Star Wars. He's just not a big-time lore guy. What the hell was that? One of the pieces of my microphone arm just fell off. Okay. Hopefully my microphone doesn't just collapse into pieces. That looked like an important piece right there. Not going to lie. Can you guys see? No, it's right off the screen. A really important piece of my microphone arm just fell off, and I feel like this is bad. I'm just not going to touch the microphone for the rest. Okay, so where were we? Oh, yeah, Tony Gilroy. He is not the biggest lore guy when it comes to Star Wars. He's been very vocal about that. So it's all the other people that are working on the project, the production team and all these other people who are involved in creating Andor that give us those Easter eggs in Luthen's Gallery and a Maul spider there too. Yeah. I'm concerned about this. The piece also disappeared that fell off, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, never mind. Andor totally deserves to dominate this award season. So we just talked about how it's nominated for almost over 23 Emmy Awards. Lucasfilm and Disney fully understand how important Andor is. Even though the show's over, the importance of it lives on forever. This is easily the best Star Wars TV show to date. That is an argument to be had. Tell me in the chat, is Andor your favorite Star Wars project? Or live-action show, let's call it. Is Andor your favorite Star Wars show to date? Tell me in the chat. Yes or no? Produced with so much love and care. Benefited from fantastic writing and incredible performances. Andor deserves all the accolades Disney hopes to win at the Emmys. For now, though, viewers can no doubt continue to enjoy more Easter eggs and references like this subtle detail revealed by the team. Ones that just show how much care and attention they paid to Andor. So, yes, the Easter egg itself is really cool, but it begs the question, what else have we missed in Andor? What else have we missed in all these other Star Wars projects? Like, it's got to be pretty damn cool. I don't know. Well, wow, I'm actually seeing some mixed responses here. Okay, let me put up a poll in the chat. Let me put up a poll. If you haven't smashed a freaking like on this stream yet, please do. Let me put up a poll here. Is Andor the best Star Wars TV show? Yes or no? Let's just see. Let's see where the people are at. And if not, well, then what is? If not, what is? Yeah. Okay, I missed the super chat. Hang on. Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $10 holla. Goddamn. Last super chat before the vacay, making it a big one. Well, I appreciate that. That's very, very generous. Enjoy your time off. I certainly shall. You deserve it. Well, I don't know about that, but thank you. Also, did not see this Maul thing. This is awesome. Yeah, I didn't see it either, and this is really, really cool. It makes me want to go back and rewatch Andor just to try and find more Easter eggs. Like, in Luthen's Gallery, we, of course, saw a ton, like Plo Koon's mask and all this other greatness, but there was a Gungan skull in there. There was some other things that we didn't see. So maybe there's a bigger Easter egg in there than even Maul's face on a spider that we just missed. Would be pretty cool. And the Rakatan mentions we talked about with the map and now Rakata Prime being on the canon map of Star Wars, going back to the Dawn of the Jedi where we're probably going to get more references to the Rakata. It seems like Andor, although it doesn't have the Force, doesn't have lightsabers, is still very much connected to stories to come in the future. Specifically the Rakata, which is insane. Who would have thunk that Andor would be the first mention in canon and probably the first lead up in canon to the Rakatan Empire? Pretty wild stuff. Yeah. I can't unsee Maul's cheeky chomps now. What the hell does that even mean? The Clone Wars is still my favorite. Valid. Clone Wars is probably still my favorite. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Mando is good. Ahsoka is fun, but neither are in the same level of quality. Interesting. It's hard because when you compare certain Star Wars shows, of course, the Clone Wars has 7 seasons. That's way more than any other show in Star Wars. It's more than double most. Rebels has 4, which is barely over half. Bad Batch is 3, Mando is 3, Andor is 2. But every other show, The Acolyte, Book of Boba Fett, Skeleton Crew, Kenobi, which we talked about, last week, or on Tuesday's stream, I should say. They're all just one season. So to compare 2 seasons versus 1 is very hard to do. Because if you look at Andor season 1, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's real good. But season 2 is what makes it such a masterpiece. But without season 1, there's no season 2. Because you have to set up the characters, you have to spend time building this world. Without season 2, or without season 1, there's no season 2, and without season 2, there's no season 1. Well, that's actually a lie. But it's not as good without the 2 seasons as a whole. So all these different shows that only have 1 season, well, they don't have the opportunity to give that same second season that Andor had. Maybe Skeleton Crew is all just a setup for these characters, where we could get a season 2 that's on the same level as Mando season 2 or Andor season 2. It tends to be, especially with live action shows, that a second season seems to be better than the first, because the first season's just there to sort of set up the story. I guess the same can be said about the animated side of things too. Look at Rebels. Rebels season 1 is all just learning who these characters are. You're first introduced to Ezra and Kanan and Hera and Sabine and Zeb and Chopper and all of them. And that's just establishing those characters and how they work together. But once you get to season 2, 3, 4, it's like, holy crap, this show's really, really good. But it only works because of season 1. Same with the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars first season is a lot of just nothing. It's mission of the week type stuff. It's establishing Ahsoka as a character, establishing Rex as a character, and giving us a little bit of cool things with bounty hunters and whatever. But it's not until like season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 where it really hits the ground and gives us some of the best Star Wars content ever. But again, that doesn't happen without season 1. And the same can be said about Andor. Andor doesn't work without season 1. It's not as good without season 1 being a little bit slower, establishing all these new characters. Maybe that would work with other shows too. Maybe a show like Book of Boba Fett, or Skeleton Crew, or Acolyte, or Kenobi would be better off with the second season. Hey, maybe that's just me. History seems to suggest that they would be better off with a second season. But it is hard to compare a show like Andor with 2 seasons versus only shows with 1 season. However, with that being said, you take single seasons and compare them to each other. Well, what is the best? That's fully out of my hands. That's all up to you guys. By the way, this poll right now is almost exactly 50-50, which is pretty damn crazy. I'll leave it up there for a little bit, see if that changes. But right now it's about 50-50. So we'll leave it up there. Yeah. Acolyte Season 2 would have been one of the best Star Wars seasons. It could have been. Like, you can't say that that Acolyte Season 2 would be the best show of all time or best season of all time, because who knows, it could have sucked. Just because Andor Season 2 and Mando Season 2 and Rebels Season 2 are all better than Season 1 doesn't necessarily mean that the next Season 2 of the next show is going to be better than the first season. But I will say the opportunity for the Acolyte Season 2 to be better than Season 1 and better than a lot of things was definitely there. More Plagueis, more Chimere, more Sith. Seeing the backstory there, it would have been great. I mean, there was a setup there for a reason. Yeah. But that's besides the point. Darth Maul is in Andor Season 2, which is really, really cool. Fun little Easter egg. Makes me want to go back and rewatch Andor Season 2 and 1 to try and find even more Easter eggs, because I'm sure there's plenty that we have missed. But hopefully they'll come out over time. Do you guys remember, probably like 3 or 4 months ago, something like that, where an Easter egg from the Phantom Menace just got revealed? After 25 years, or 26 years now, 26 years since that movie released, an Easter egg was found. And it was George Lucas's face on one of the walls on Naboo. Do any of you remember that? So, literally 26 years later, we could still be finding these Easter eggs in Star Wars, and it'll be really, really cool to see what else we missed, especially in Andor. Yeah. But I appreciate the Super Chat, Darth Plagueis. I really, really do. Super Chats, memberships. Keep the lights on over here. And the lights are going to have to be turned off for about a week. So, yeah. Yeah. It could have been decent, but who knows? Exactly. I mean, you never know with the second season. the worst part about it is that it got canceled. So yeah. Can I ask a question? Absolutely. I mean, no. What am I going to say no? Why does Matt Gilroy, who doesn't even like Star Wars, do stuff like this? Put Maul Easter eggs and stuff in that. Well, it wasn't Matt Gilroy. It was Luke Hull, who was in charge of the production design stuff. So you have the Gilroys, who aren't really the biggest guys in lore, but they're not the only ones who are writing the story. They're not the only ones who are creating the story. It's a whole team of people. The whole production design, the whole cast and crew, all those people have the ability to drop little Easter eggs like this. That's why you have mentions of the Rakatan Empire. I can guarantee you that before that was ever brought to Tony's attention, he had no idea what that was. So it's not him that put that in there, but somebody else who was on set or somebody else who's working behind the scenes. Could have been Dave Filoni for all we know, but could be setting up something else. Yeah, it's not a one-man show. Exactly. A lot of people go into making these Star Wars projects. As much as we give credit to Tony Gilroy because he deserves it, there's a lot of other people who deserve credit that don't get it. You know? Yeah. The difference is not enough planning and mediocre writing quality for the Bad Batch, for the Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi and the Acolyte. They can still be good, but those two things are what set up Andor to be much better. Yeah, I mean, it's all planning and writing. If something is written poorly, it's going to be bad. Plain and simple. But honestly, what tends to happen is when you have a plan from the beginning and you let it play out, it ends up being a lot better than you think. With The Acolyte, there was a plan for a second season and it never happened. There's a lot of setup with Chimere in the Knights of Ren connections, never happened. More Plagueis, never happened. All this backstory between Vanestra Rho and Chimere never happened. So it'll forever be one of the biggest what ifs in Star Wars. Yeah. But I digress. Production designs will always try to sneak in little Easter eggs into shows and movies. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Tony Gilroy probably asked them to do so, but he wasn't the one who was like placing them in there, you know? But even still, all that to say, this is really cool. When you have people who enjoy Star Wars working on Star Wars, you get really cool stuff like this. And the fact is, Lucasfilm is still hiring all the right people to do all the right things and give us Darth Maul as a spider in Andor Season 2. Never thought I'd say that sentence, but here we are. Here we are. Exactly. Okay. Yes. So let's talk about this for a second. Andor, we've come off the backs of Andor Season 2. There's only one other live-action Star Wars project, and we'll get to the Heir to the Empire in a second, but it's Ahsoka Season 2. And we've been talking about this over the last couple months even, about how streaming is dead. Tony Gilroy, in one of his interviews, said that somebody from Lucasfilm or somebody from Disney told him that streaming is dead. There is clearly a big old shift over at Disney, over at Lucasfilm specifically, for Star Wars movies. For the last 6 years, Star Wars has resided only on the small screen, only on Disney+. However, starting next year, The Mandalorian and Grogu will bring us back to the big screen. Now, obviously, we're still going to be getting Disney+ Star Wars shows, animation ones for sure, Maul Shadow Lord, Tales of the Blank, whatever, you name it, we're getting it. But when it comes to live action shows on Disney+, it is a very shaky topic, I think, moving forward. We did just talk about how Kenobi could be getting a second season, how the new report is that it's currently in development at Lucasfilm. So it's not that live action Star Wars shows are going to stop forever, but we're definitely going to get to see a slowdown of production. We're not going to be getting 3 or even 2 live action Star Wars shows a year because, well, we're going back to the movies for 1, but 2, streaming is dead. That's the word behind the scenes over at Disney. The streaming side of things for Marvel and Star Wars, it's going to look a lot different moving forward. So yes, we may get an Acolyte Season 2. We may get a Kenobi Season 2. We may get a Skeleton Crew Season 2. but they will be way more spread out. Maybe one a year, maybe one every other year. It's not going to look like what we've seen over the last 6 years. We're not going to get Mando season 1, 2, 3, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Acolyte, Kenobi, Andor season 2. Is that all of them? 8. Skeleton Crew, 10. I'm maybe missing something, but 10 seasons of television in 5 years? Yeah, 5 years? That's not going to happen over the next 5 years. We're going to see a lot less live-action Disney Plus shows, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's quality over quantity, even though I thought the quality was pretty damn good over the last 5 years. But we're also shifting back to the big screen. You're getting The Mandalorian and Grogu. You're getting The Dawn of the Jedi. You're getting Starfighter with Ryan Gosling. You're getting the Rey movie, a Simon Kinberg trilogy. You're getting all these different Star Wars movies. So you're going to see a big old shift for Star Wars moving forward. Doesn't mean that Kenobi Season 2 is not in development right now. It doesn't mean that we'll never get a Season 2 of Book of Boba Fett, Acolyte, or Skeleton Crew. But it means it's going to be a lot more spread out. We only got one live-action Star Wars show this year, and it was Andor Season 2. We're only getting one live-action Star Wars show next year, and it's Ahsoka Season 2. And that might be the new pattern. Just one a year. It sounds good to me, honestly. Tell me in the chat if you agree with this. But if we get one Star Wars movie, one live-action show, and one animated season every year, we'll be eating pretty damn good as Star Wars fans. I mean, that sounds pretty damn good to me. Tell me in the chat. Sounds pretty damn good to me. But, and then you could even add on to that, like the Vision stuff and the Tales of the Blanks. Like, that's not even including the small projects. Rebuild the Galaxy type things. It's not even including that. I'm just talking 3 big things. A new season of the animated show, a new movie, and new live action show. Maybe. It'd be pretty good. Yeah. More money with the big screen. Well, yes, that's sort of the idea. Streaming is not dead because the shows aren't good. It's dead because they're not making enough money off of it. Even though they have millions of subscribers to Disney Plus, those millions of people paying whatever it is a month, I don't even know anymore, whatever it is a month, is still not enough to warrant making a $650 million 2-season show called Andor. Even though Andor's a masterpiece and we're very, very happy to have gotten it, it doesn't warrant spending over $500 million to make one show because you're not making that money back. You're just not. So in the box office, when a movie goes out into theaters, you have the opportunity, now it's not guaranteed, but you have the opportunity to make so much more money. If The Mandalorian goes out and makes $1 billion, you're making so much more money than you would ever make by making a Mando Season 4. Plain and simple. And that doesn't even include toys and merchandise and all that stuff because Grogu is everywhere. I mean, look down, he's on your shirt right now. He's everywhere. But movie theaters still today make way more money, if it's a good movie, than the streaming services. So that's why I think we're seeing that shift. Doesn't mean the end of Star Wars on Disney Plus. By all means, it does not. We're getting a new animated show next year with Maul, and we're not going to see the stoppage of live action stuff. It's just going to be a slowdown. Just a slowdown. And that's not anything to be like,
I got a bad feeling about this.
It honestly should really make you feel like,
this is where the fun begins.
you know? Yeah. I want Mia Goth in the Ryan Gosling film. Well, that your want is my command because that is happening. Yeah, she's the villain. Yeah. The one thing I want most from Star Wars is to focus on an entirely different era, like the Dawn of the Jedi or something. Well, you're going to get your wish. And I feel like everybody's going to get their wishes granted over the next couple years. Because when you look at the upcoming Star Wars content, you have stuff all across the board. The Mandoverse is jam-packed with the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, Ahsoka Season 2, Dave Filoni's movie, and whatever else is going to be announced. whether it's a Book of Boba Fett Season 2, Skeleton Crew Season 2, or a brand new show. I don't know. But you have post-sequel stuff with Starfighter, Rey's New Jedi Order, Simon Kinberg's trilogy, and whatever else. You have post-prequels, pre-originals, that time period there with the Maul Shadow Lord stuff. And then you have Dawn of the Jedi. 25,000 years before everything else. You still seeing all that stuff, hopefully leading into the Old Republic, maybe some Forgotten Empire stuff. Whatever you want in Star Wars, whether it's before the prequels, whether it's after the sequels, or whether it's in between, you choose what you want because we're getting all of it. We're going to be eating so good as Star Wars fans over the next, 4, 5, 6 years, the foreseeable future. And it'll be great. Yeah. Absolutely. Tell us about the Starfighter character. Who is he? Well, honestly, very little is known about that movie. Like, Starfighter is just the title of the movie. There's no war to be fought in that we're aware of, so who knows who this character Ryan Gosling's going to be playing is. Mia Goth is going to be the villain of the movie, but is she a Force user? Is she not a Force user? Is she just a pirate? We have no idea. So little is known about Starfighter. Hopefully things will get leaked out as it's going to start filming in September. But right now, we know so little about that movie. Like, very, very little. Yeah. If I could choose anything to be made, it would be the Darth Plagueis novel into live action. I mean, that would be great. That would be fantastic. Okay? Say that again. But it does not seem very likely. The only thing that would be close enough to that would be like The Acolyte Season 2. Or maybe a young Palpatine show, but that does not seem to be in the works right now. Yeah. Where is Starfighter going to be on the timeline? It's 5 years after Rise of Skywalker. 5 years after the sequel trilogy. We do know where that is. Yes, we do know. Indeed. So that's the whole streaming side of things, the cool little Easter egg from that, whatever. Let's talk Heir to the Empire, okay? Let's talk Heir to the Empire for a second, because I think I've figured it out, as I always do, until I don't. I think I figured it out. Heir to the Empire is coming. Grand Admiral Thrawn is in the regular Star Wars galaxy now. He's on Dathomir. That's where we see him in Ahsoka Season 1. Next year, we're going to get to see Thrawn rile up a bunch of wins, okay? He's going to win in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Even if he's not physically in the Mandalorian and Grogu, we're going to see and feel his presence across the galaxy. In Ahsoka Season 2, we're getting a war in our Star Wars, as Dave Filoni said at Star Wars Celebration. So we're going to get to see Grand Admiral Thrawn absolutely destroy the New Republic. Like, just win after win after win after win after win. We talked about this last week, but the galaxy map that was revealed on StarWars.com, this really cool thing right here, that shows the entire Star Wars galaxy as we know it, and it will be updated over time. So all these planets that will get introduced and new stuff will be added to this. This is why we were talking about the Rakata Prime over there, Octu off to the Exegol, whatever, Thrawn's homeworld. Yeah, but the biggest thing that we saw on this map last week was the proximity between Dathomir and At-Aten. Now you can see in the thumbnail of this live stream, Jude Law is front and center. I actually think that Jude Law coming to Star Wars is far more important than we really could have ever possibly imagined. He's a big-time actor in Hollywood. Having him come over to be in Skeleton Crew and just Skeleton Crew was never the plan. He was going to come to Star Wars and stick around for a very long time. Last week, the news was that he was reportedly going to be in multiple projects moving forward in the Mandoverse. But now I think he might be one of the keys to the Heir to the Empire story. Last we saw Jude Law's character of Jad Na, he was on At-Aten. Last we saw Grand Admiral Thrawn, he's on Dathomir. Give me a 1 into the chat if you have read or have listened to or have heard the story of the Heir to the Empire trilogy, the Legends trilogy, Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and The Last Command. I always forget Dark Force Rising, even though I literally just listened to it the other day. Okay. I see a bunch of ones in the chat, but if you don't understand, if you have not read the Heir to the Empire trilogy, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to do my best to describe it and explain it the best I can. So, Grand Admiral Thrawn, much like we see right now in the Star Wars canon, is trying to become the heir to the Empire. He needs all the help he can get, but we have a lot of differences here. Differences between canon and legends. Things that might upset some people. Okay? Whenever you bring some aspect of legends into canon, like Grand Admiral Thrawn, like an entire story arc of Heir to the Empire, you're going to have differences that really anger some Star Wars fans. Like, really anger some Star Wars fans. However, I actually think a lot of these changes might be better. So here are the similarities and differences, I guess, and how the Heir to the Empire is going to look moving forward. 50 Thunder for the 5-month membership badge. Holy crap. I appreciate it. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. So, in Legends, you have these characters. You have these characters known as the Noghri. The Noghri are Thrawn's assassins, let's call them. They're a big portion of his army that aren't stormtroopers. They're people who are dedicated, a species that is dedicated to the Empire because Darth Vader rescued their planet. The whole long story, whatever. All you need to know is that the Noghri help Grand Admiral Thrawn quite a bit in the Heir to the Empire trilogy. Not only that, but they get switched over to the good guys when Leia goes to the Noghri homeworld and says, I'm the descendant of Darth Vader. Again, there's a lot more going on here, but she says, I'm the descendant of Darth Vader, and now they follow her instead of Grand Admiral Thrawn. This is the Noghri that we see in Star Wars Rebels. His name is Rook. He, I believe, dies in Star Wars Rebels. If somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he dies in Star Wars Rebels. So the Noghri play a huge role in the Heir to the Empire trilogy in Legends. So are they going to be in the canon one? I think not. However, the replacement might be even better. So the replacement for the Noghri, the assassins for Grand Admiral Thrawn, the real weapons that he's been looking for. The Night Sisters. So now we have the Legends version coming over to canon being completely different, but still very, very cool. And the same outcome could happen. There's a character that we know named Asajj Ventress, and a character that we know named Merrin. I don't know why I had to think of that so long. Merrin. Zeb kills him. Okay, so Rook is dead. That's fine. Because we want the Night Sisters anyway. Merrin or Asajj, for that matter, either of them could come in and maybe sway the Night Sister people to stop working for Grand Admiral Thrawn, much like Leia does to the Noghri in Legends. Very, very similar stories. These two are almost interchangeable, and I believe that the canon version for the Noghri in Legends will be the Night Sisters of Dathomir. Well, these are the mothers from Peridia, but you know what I mean. The Night Sisters of Dathomir. So, moving on. The next Legends aspect of Heir to the Empire that's very, very important to the story, a specific character, I should say, is Talon Karrde. Again, if you haven't read the books, that's perfectly fine. Talon Karrde is a smuggler, a smuggler. Much like Han Solo before A New Hope, that's your Talon Karrde. He's the leader of the smuggling group. He's very important because he finds the Dark Force fleet. It's a very long story, but he's a very, very key, important piece to this story. So who replaces Talon Karrde? Well, that's where we come to Jade. That's where we come to Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew was a one-and-done show that was a lot of fun and really, really good. Did many people watch it? No. Is anybody still talking about it today? No. It's only been 7 months since this show ended, and the talk of Skeleton Crew has gone out the window. However, I think that Jade specifically and Atten are very, very important to the future of the Heir to the Empire, Ahsoka Season 2, maybe even the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Very, very important to the future of Star Wars. And Jade being on Atten last we saw him, even if he's in the custody of the New Republic, he could be saved, quote unquote, by Grand Admiral Thrawn when he comes and takes Atten. Now, Talon Card in Legends does work both sides. He works for Thrawn sometimes, and he works for the New Republic sometimes, whenever it benefits him. That could be a very similar outcome that we see here with the character of Jade Nawood. So now, and also I have a different outcome for Jade too if we get there, but so now we have the canon version of the Nogri are the Night Sisters, and the canon version of Talon Card could be Jade Nawood, the man who plays both sides, very integral to the story, playing both sides, the Empire, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and the New Republic, having connections to both, and of course, the kids who will hopefully play a bigger role there. Yes, you bring up a good point, Holly. Talon Card is a smuggler and not a pirate, but Nogri are weird-looking aliens, and Night Sisters use magic. There's going to be a bunch of differences here. They're just canon versions of the legend aspects. So it's going to be different. All these things are going to be very, very different. People who are looking for the Heir to the Empire story to be the exact same in canon are going to be very, very disappointed. Like, very disappointed, because it's not going to be the same. But it shouldn't be. Honestly, I would really hate it if we got the Heir to the Empire trilogy and it was a shot-for-shot remake of the Legend story. What's the point in that? Just go read the story. It's already there. Who cares? I would way rather see a canon version that builds up the characters that we already have, Din and Grogu and Bo-Katan and Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker and Leia and Han and Jade and Ahsoka, the Ghost Crew, like those characters who, by the way, other than Luke, Leia, and Han, none of them are in Legends. Zip. Zero. Nada. No Din Djarin, no Grogu, no Ahsoka, no Jade, no nobody. None of them. So the canon story is already built on a foundation that's going to be extremely different than the Legend story. And I think that's actually a good thing. But you tell me in the chat. Okay, so we have the canon version of the Nogri, who will be the Night Sisters, and the canon version of Talon Card, who will be Jade Nawood. I do have a second alternative for Jade because he is a Force user, so let's get to that right now. Another big thing in a very big, important piece of the puzzle of the Legends trilogy is Joruus C'baoth. We've talked about Joruus quite a bit on this channel. I feel like we talk about him all the time. But Joruus C'baoth is actually a cloned version of a Jedi named Joruus C'baoth, who is the protector, I guess, of Mount Tantus. And when Thrawn goes to Tantus or Wayland to find Mount Tantus, he finds Joruus C'baoth, a dark Jedi. We've talked about canon versions of this character. You got anyone from Terran Malicos from the Jedi games. This is the fan favorite because he's on Dathomir. He's got the long beard and white hair, and he's a dark Jedi with these nice red lightsabers. And he's pretty badass, and he would connect Cal Kestis to the other game, to the live action stuff. He's on Dathomir last we see him. Marin buries him alive. There's a lot of things that really point to Terran Malicos being the canon version of Joruus C'baoth, but there are a few other options. One of them actually being Jade Nawood. Now, no, he's not a long white hair bearded guy like Joruus, but he is a Force user and could be on the side of Thrawn if Thrawn does save him from Atten. Could happen. This would also imply that Terran Malicos survived all these years on Dathomir by himself. Just hanging out, waiting for Thrawn. Which could happen, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Wasn't there a legend story of what Ahsoka did after Order 66? No, there's a canon novel for Ahsoka that got slightly altered when Tales of the Jedi came out. But that's actually a canon novel. Yeah. Yeah. They've already introduced us to Mount Tantus. It would be cool if they introduced Luke Skywalker, the cloned version of Luke, who faced off against the real Luke Skywalker. That would be really cool. And that would be very on brand with the Legend story. But now you'd have a deepfaked version of Luke Skywalker versus a deepfaked version of a cloned version of Luke Skywalker. Guess Mike hasn't played the game yet? What? Don't we kill him in the game, though? No. Cal Kestis does not kill Talon Card. Taron Malicos. A bunch of T's. Taron Malicos gets buried alive by Merrin on Dathomir. Now, buried alive, you'd assume he dies, but he is a Force user. So as soon as he leaves, I mean, they could just come right up and do that. I just actually recently replayed Jedi Fallen Order back in March, maybe? February or March, at some point earlier on this year. The fight between Cal and Taron Malicos is pretty awesome. I mean, Taron's a great character, so the fact that we only get to see him for a very short amount of time in Jedi Fallen Order, it would be cool to see him come back. It would be. Or, better yet, because Jorah Sabaoth is a cloned version of Jorah Sabaoth, what if Thrawn finds the dead remains of Taron Malicos and uses that to create a cloned version of Taron Malicos? That would be a lot more in line, I guess, with Legends, because it would be a cloned version of the Jedi. And the reason that Jorah Sabaoth is so crazy, he's an insane old man, is because he's a clone. And the cloning technology is not really there yet, so he's lost his mind. Yeah. It's such a good game. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. Indeed. He gets buried under some rocks. Yes, that's how his character comes to a demise. He's buried alive by Merrin, which is even cooler. So, if it is Taron Malicos who becomes the canon version of Joruus, that allows you to connect to Cal Kestis and Merrin, because we want to see those two in live action badly. But there are some other options. People have been talking about Darth Talon because of her likely appearance into canon in Maul Shadow Lord, and we don't know where she goes from there. So she could eventually maybe lead her way to becoming Thrawn's right-hand man, or woman, I guess, as a lightsaber-wielding, force-wielding badass of Darth Talon, and Jade. And Jade would be the other option because he is a force wielder. He's not that powerful of a force wielder. He only got trained for a little bit with a Jedi, but even still, it'd be pretty damn cool. So Joruus needs a canon version for Grand Admiral Thrawn, and that would be hopefully Taron Malicos, but only time will tell. The other big character that many, many fans want to see come to live action, and I hope they do this, but it seems like it's getting a little bit late in the game because we've spent so many years in this Mandoverse now, is Mara Jade. Give me a 1 into the chat if you want to see Mara Jade come into canon. Not only is she a love interest for Luke, not Leia, for Luke, not only is she a love interest for Luke, but her backstory being the Emperor's hand and what she could really do for Luke Skywalker for the sequel trilogy would be really, really cool. So Mara Jade was once the Emperor's hand, working right alongside of the Emperor. She gets ordered to kill Luke Skywalker. She's actually at Jabba's palace in episode 6, Return of the Jedi. But she's not successful with killing Luke, as we know. And she believes that Luke is the one who kills the Emperor. Make a really long story short, across 3 books, 3 movies, whatever you want to call it, she and Luke fall in love. Plain and simple. Villain wants to kill him, turns love interest, love and hate. They're very close. Yeah. But this character would add so much to Luke's fall in the sequel trilogy and would allow us to get Mara Jade in live action, which would be great. Well, let's say, just for the shits and giggles, that she is not coming to canon. Mara Jade is not there. Much like the Nogri are probably not going to be in here. They'll be replaced by the Night Sisters. Much like Terran Carr is not going to probably be in here. He'll be replaced by Jade. Much like Jorah Sabaoth is not coming to canon. He'll probably be replaced by Terran Malicos. Mara Jade is probably not coming. Pause. Instead, we will be left with a canon version of the character. Maybe not a character who falls in love with Luke Skywalker, but a very similar character development. Shin Hati. Now, currently, right now, this is probably the worst of my theories on this list because Shin is on a different galaxy. She's on Peridia, and she might even become the living embodiment of Abeloth eventually when Abeloth takes over her creepy-looking body with the zero blinking and white hair. So maybe not Abeloth. I mean, maybe not Mara Jade canon version. There was times during Ahsoka season 1 where I thought she could have been, but no, probably not. That leaves the door wide open for Mara Jade to become an actual canon character, which will be fan-freaking-tastic. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. We got a super chat. 50 Thunder with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that. It says, not Star Wars related, but I've just heard that actor Michael Madsen has passed away. R.I.P. Mr. Blunt. Wow. R.I.P. Michael Madsen. Hang on. Is that who I think it is? Michael? Oh, that's... Yeah, from Kill Bill. That's what I thought. Oh. How old was he? Oh, he's 72. Okay. Or 68. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. Well, I appreciate the super chat nonetheless. I thought you were going to say Asajj Ventress. I don't think Asajj would be a... I don't think she'd be a love interest for Luke Skywalker. That would be pretty interesting. I mean, Asajj is always flirting with Obi-Wan and Anakin and everybody in the prequel trilogy, or in the Clone Wars, I should say. That would be interesting. She'd be a lot older than Luke. Yeah. Sabine and Ezra need to make purple-haired babies that run around like with little Syndulla. They're kind of in two separate galaxies right now, so that's a little bit difficult, but yes, I agree with that. Well, again, when we're talking about canon version of Heir to the Empire, in Legends, the characters of Sabine, Ezra, Ahsoka, Hera Syndulla, they don't exist. They're not there. So it's already going to be a very drastically different story in canon because those characters exist. And we're going to focus on those characters because they're awesome characters. So I'd love to see Ezra and Sabine finally get together. But right now they're in two completely different galaxies. Yeah. So Mara Jade coming to canon could still happen because right now her canon counterpart doesn't really exist. Shin is not the best option now. Maybe she was a year or two ago, but she's not now. But Mara Jade coming to canon would be pretty nice. Yeah. Maul was boring? What? What are you talking about? Ezra put Sabine in the friend zone. He says she's like a sister to him. True. But she put him in the friend zone first in Rebels. And now it's sort of like she puts him in the friend zone, he puts her in the friend zone, and then eventually they finally come together. It'll be like the worth the wait type thing, you know? Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Okay, yes. Now we get to the New Republic character that everybody hates. In Legends, that character is a Bothan named Philia. And this is Philia right here. He's the guy who tries to undermine Leia and Han and Luke all the time, trying to gain power in the Senate, trying to undermine Mon Mothma even in the New Republic. That character is being replaced in canon by Senator Xiono. Xiono? Xiono. This guy was established in Ahsoka Season 1. He's been in Star Wars Resistance. He seems to be the canon version of the bad senator or bad leader in the New Republic. Yeah, you hate this guy? Exactly. You're supposed to hate this guy. I hate this guy, and you're supposed to hate Philia in the Legends books too. So this is the perfect, actually, one-to-one Legends to canon thing here. Philia is supposed to be the bad guy for the New Republic, and you're supposed to hate this guy too. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to hate him. That's the goal there. You're supposed to hate this character. And it's going to continue. Like when Thrawn comes in Ahsoka Season 2, we're going to get way more of this guy going, okay, who cares about Thrawn? Thrawn's not the problem now. And that will actually probably lead to how Thrawn becomes the heir to the Empire, actually gets his power, and is able to take Coruscant, maybe even, because Coruscant's not the main New Republic headquarters by the time of the sequel trilogy. He might be the reason why, because he's not taking it seriously like he doesn't take it seriously in the first one, in the first season of Ahsoka. So he might be the reason as to why. Now we get to locations. One of the biggest ones in Legends, like I mentioned before with Jorah Sabaoth, is Mount Tantus. Now, Mount Tantus has been established in canon in the Bad Batch, so we could be seeing Wayland, which is the planet where Mount Tantus resides, in the Heir to the Empire. Actually, if we go back to our nice map, we look here. Where is, where am I? Where am I? Where's Dathomir? Oh, right there. Right there. So Dathomir is right here. That's where Thrawn is. And Wayland is right there. Very close in proximity. Boom, boom. So Wayland is the planet where Mount Tantus is, where the cloning facility that was housing Project Necromancer in the Bad Batch. This is likely to still play a very big role in canon. At Atten will be the funding right next door because of the Old Republic Mint and all those 1,113, was it 13? Whatever. 1,000 plus vaults that are filled with credits. And then Wayland will be where he clones things. I don't know how significant cloning will be in this Heir to the Empire version, in the canon version. Will he try to clone Luke Skywalker like somebody mentioned earlier? I don't really know. I don't see it going down that way. Luke Skywalker versus Luke Skywalker in Legends is a great battle, but because we don't have a Luke Skywalker right now that isn't just a deep-faked character, I really think they're going to sideline the original trio. Yes, you'll see them. Luke, Leia, and Han will play some sort of role in taking down Thrawn, but they won't be the main characters. It will be Din Djarin, it will be the Ghost Crew, it will be Boba Fett and Bo-Katan, who are the main characters of this story, taking down Thrawn. So I don't know if we'll see a canon version of Luke Skywalker or the cloning facility being used too much. Granted, in Mando Season 3, we did see Moff Gideon cloning himself into Force-sensitive clones. But this could also lead to a reason why Luke Skywalker goes into hiding. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. An explanation for Luke going into hiding, having his blood be the reason that they could make a whole clone army of Force-sensitive beings, that will be enough to put him into hiding. That would be enough for him to go into Arc 2, saving the galaxy from a Force-sensitive clone army. That will be enough. Add that to Ben Solo falling to the dark side and all this other stuff. It will be enough. So Wayland will play a big role. I just don't know if we'll get a Luke Skywalker involved in this canon version of the story. So Mount Tantus is our first location, and it's clearly connecting to the Bad Batch and setting up Omega, possibly coming into live action. Because with Dathomir and Terran Malicos and the Night Sisters, that ties in Cal Kestis and Merrin. To tie in the Bad Batch, to tie in Omega coming to live action, this is where it happens. This also gives us the Zillo Beast, a fan favorite monster in the Star Wars universe. We actually get a lot of big old monsters coming up in the Heir to the Empire stuff. Boba Fett is now riding a Rancor, which is awesome. The Zillo Beast is on Mount Tantus, or on Wayland, I should say, off in the wild. So you could maybe see Thrawn try to capture the beast, which would be pretty cool. And then you have the Mythosaur on Mandalore, which, by the way, is also in very close proximity on this map. Mandalore is right there, right near Wayland. So Mandalore, Dathomir, Wayland are in like this weird triangle right here. This is the Thrawn triangle. You know, the Bermuda Triangle? This is the Thrawn heir to the Empire triangle. Yeah. Okay. So there's that. The Mythosaur, the Zillo Beast, all that. And then, of course, AT-AT. This is the last place we saw Jod. They set up this place to fund the First Order and maybe even, the heir to the Empire and maybe even the First Order. Because this place, it's the key to everything. Skeleton Crew, although it may not get talked about ever again. We may never see a season 2. We may never see those kids again. Hopefully we do, but I'm just saying, if we never do, it served its purpose, and it's the key to everything. AT-AT itself is the key to the future of the heir to the Empire, the future of Thrawn's story, the future of the entire New Republic. It's AT-AT. So when we go back and watch Skeleton Crew, you can look at it that way. This is important, and it's very important. It's a cool adventure with these kids, a hidden planet lost in the galaxy, much like Kamino or whatever. It's so important. Yes, we need more Neil. We need more. I can't say I remember no AT-AT. We'll remember it because it exists. Now, I have one last thing here. That's canon version versus Legends version. Mount Tantus reminds me of the Bad Batch. Yeah, missed the Bad Batch. Yeah. So, one other thing in its canon version, from Legends to canon, and it's a very important piece. Does anybody know what these are? Chat, the best fight in Star Wars was Yoda versus R2-D2 in The Empire Strikes Back. It's a pretty great fight. Yeah. Yeah. AT-AT is the key to all this, not Jar Jar. Well, Jar Jar Binks could also be the key to all this, but you know. Yeah, yeah, you know. Yeah, no. Can I get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Bumpa! Yes. I saw a bunch of people in the chat saying it. The Yalamari or Salamari, whatever you want to call it, a bunch of different people call it different things. These creatures repel the Force. They create this bubble around Thrawn in Legends. They create this bubble around all things in Legends that allow Force users to not be able to wield the Force. That's very important when Grand Admiral Thrawn doesn't wield the Force, and he's going up against Luke Skywalker, Leia, who do wield the Force. And in canon, you have Ezra Bridger, you have Ahsoka and Sabine, but they're off in a different galaxy. You still have Luke Skywalker. You still have Force users that Thrawn is going up against. He needs these beings, right? Right? Well, in Legends, they are very important. He takes so many of these. Actually, Talon Karrde is the one who supplies him with these creatures. But these creatures are so important because they're the ones who stop Force users. It actually helps him with Joruus C'baoth too, because Joruus is crazy, and at some points he probably it wouldn't be good if he didn't have these things around to help him stop from using the Force. But as of right now, these creatures don't seem to be coming to canon. I will say though, let me pull this up. Thrawn in Rebels. When you look at Thrawn in Rebels, there's this iconic picture of him right here. Dave Filoni did this on purpose. In Rebels, Thrawn can clearly be seen standing here with Yalamari or Salamari on his shoulders. So they're technically in canon already, but we haven't seen these beings come on screen. We haven't seen them actually be a thing. So I don't know if we're going to get to see them. Can actually somebody fact check me on this? What planet are the Salamari from? It says it in the first book, I believe, Heir to the Empire, but I don't remember where. Can somebody help me out on that, chat? A gal who likes many things. That is a great username. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah. Has anybody seen the Dooku versus Anakin early tests on YouTube? Oh, yeah. The one where he drops the lightsaber and then catches it? That's pretty good. Yeah. The planet is Kebab, is it? Can we find this planet on the map is more so what I'm saying. Do we know the map? Do we know the planet? It's definitely not Tatooine. Merker. Yes, Merker sounds like it's right. Sounds familiar. Merker? Okay. And it's spelled that way? M-Y-K-R? M-Y-K-R? Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can find it. Because if it's close to Dathomir, if it's close to Grand Admiral Thrawn, then maybe these Yalamari could be coming into canon here. Let's see. Let's go to our nice key here. K, K, K. Oh my God, that's a lot of A's. K, nope. K, nope. K, nope. Nope, nope. Getting close though. K, okay. Oh wait, no, I'm not looking for K. I'm looking for M. Merker. Duh, Mike. Come on. You guys threw me off. Nope, we are way past M there. N, getting closer. M. Merker. Oh, there it is. Inner rim. Wait, what? N7. Let's see. Oh, wrong thing. N7. Let's see. N is right here in the middle, and 7 is going up here. 7 is all the way up here. Okay. Should be right in here. Am I missing it? Where is it? Oh, hang on. I'll get to that super chat in 1 second. Does anybody see it here? Am I blind, chat? Do I not see it? Merker. Merker, Merker, Merker. I feel like I'm looking right at it and I can't see it. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody help us? Am I not staring right at it? Hang on. 7. Oh, 7 is up here. N7. There is nothing named Merker in this N7. Chat? 22 months! Holy crap, your pal Joe almost getting to that 2-year membership badge. You got to remind me because, yeah. Oh, Holly with the $5 Holly says Merker. Thank you, I appreciate that. What am I looking for? We're looking for Merker. Don't listen to iHaja in the chat. It says N7. I'm looking. Maybe I'm not on N. Hang on. 7 is there. Scroll up. N. 7. It's not here, chat. We have a missing planet. This should be where it is. Right? Am I blind, chat? This says N7, inner rim, Merker. It's not here. If it's right in front of my stupid face and I don't see it, this will make for quite the hilarious edit. Does anybody see it? Am I just losing my mind? Chat? Is it purposefully not here? Chat? Can anybody see it? Is anybody seeing this? And I'm just not seeing it? We found a missing planet? I'm not seeing it. It isn't here? Okay, so hang on. This is actually far more interesting that it's not here. I think the Yalamari are going to play a big role into canon now. It's a missing planet. It's on the list. It's right there. Merkur, N7. Like, I'm not hallucinating here, chat. You see this, right? You're seeing that, right? This is N7. Let me fact check it again. Zoom out. 7. Going all the way over to N. Which, by the way, you know what's in N7? Wayland. Home of Mount Tantus. You know what also N7 is? Right next door to Dothamir. I think we just found a missing planet, chat, and I think this is confirming, at least in my mind, that the Yalamari will be in canon. And this missing planet is very important. This is crazy. Okay, so now I think that the Yalamari are definitely going to play a role. These creatures, if I didn't say this already, they repel the Force. They're what allows Thrawn to be in the same room as a Force user and not absolutely get destroyed. So if their planet is actually missing on this map for a reason, then we might be onto something here. We might be onto something here. Merkur is another of the missing planets from Skeleton Crew. Well, no, they found all the other planets in Skeleton Crew, remember? Adatin was the only one that remained missing. Was this map released by Disney? Yeah, it's StarWars.com. It was released last week. And it says it's going to be updated. So maybe this Merkur is going to be added to the list after The Heir to the Empire, after Ahsoka Season 2. Things just got very interesting, chat. We have a missing planet on our hands. This is not the first time in Star Wars we've had a missing planet on our hands. And it's not the first time that that planet has been very significant to the story of Star Wars. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, I was going to say the Yalamari's canon versions, because they repel the Force, could just be the Night Sisters themselves, because they have Night Sister magic, and that can combat the Force. So Grand Admiral Thrawn has himself a whole army of Night Sisters who can wield Night Sister magic, and that will be a canon replacement for the Yalamari. However, now I seem to think that we've lost a planet, and that missing planet is going to be very, very important because it's Merkur, the homeworld of the Yalamari. So, change of plans. That's insane. A missing planet we have. I wonder what else is missing off this list. All right, somebody has to go through and fact check every single planet, all 59 pages. Somebody go through and find every single one of these planets, starting now. Get on it, chat. That would take decades. That would literally take years. Okay, we're not doing that. But I wonder what other planets are missing off that list. Merkur, you sly bastard. Those Yalamari, they thought we wouldn't notice. We did. All right, that's very, very interesting. Greg, you're late. Just kidding, I appreciate you being here. Merkur has Yalamari that repel the Force in projection. What? For the Vornskers that use the Force to hunt them down. Yes, that's why they have that in the first place. It's a defense mechanism against their prey, much like animals in the real world. Thrawn has purposely hidden away this planet for his own benefit. Imagine that, but this is on StarWars.com. I mean, that would be pretty cool marketing if that's the case. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Wow. I did not think we were going to find or not find a planet today on this map. That was very crazy. I did not see that coming. And the fact that it's supposed to be an N7, which is right here, this box, it's supposed to be an N7, the same box as Wayland, and right next to the box with At-Aten and Dathomir in it, and Mandalore. But the fact that it's this close in proximity to Dathomir, to Thrawn, and the fact that it's this close in proximity to Wayland, Mount Tantus, it's absolutely insane. Huh. I gotta write this down. I gotta make a full-on video about this. We have a missing planet on our hands, chat. Okay. Yeah. So, the heir to the Empire is coming. Thrawn is coming. He's already on Dathomir, and he's going to start building his empire through The Mandalorian and Grogu, through Ahsoka Season 2, into Dave Filoni's movie. But what's really cool to me is that it's not going to be the same story that we see in Legends. It's not going to be a one-for-one remake of the Heir to the Empire trilogy from Legends. Because if that was the case, that's boring as hell. I don't want to see the same story I just read or just listened to, or I'm listening to right now. I'm already on the last command. I don't want to see that. I want a canon adaptation of that. Seeing the characters that we already have in canon, like the Ghost Crew, like Din Djarin, like Grogu, and how they play into this new version of the same story. How, like I mentioned before, the Nogri are replaced by possibly the Night Sisters. Talon Card is replaced by Jude Law's Jod Na Nawud. Even Jorah Sabath could be replaced by a somehow canon version of Taron Malicos. Or Mara Jade could be replaced, or maybe even brought into live action. How we see Philia, who's the bad guy for the New Republic, and now we see Xeonu, who's the bad guy. Everybody hates him for the New Republic. Mount Tantus is involved. At-Aten is involved. The Yalamari could be coming in because there's a missing planet. And to top it all off, Night Sisters up the wazoo, which aren't in Legends. So that's the canon version that has been set up perfectly, by the way, by all the projects that came before. Ahsoka set this up perfectly with Season 1, but it's been set up for a lot longer than that. The Bad Batch, the Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels. This story of Grand Admiral Thrawn being the heir to the Empire has been set up for well over a decade. And if it's done correctly, this could play out to be an incredible story. Could be even a trilogy, if we're being honest. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie is supposed to be the beginning of a trilogy if it succeeds in the box office. What we talked about last week. It could be a trilogy, and it could be an incredible one. Mike, just check in the Discord. I found it. No! You found it? So we're blind. What you're telling me, Fearless, is that I'm blind. Oh, this isn't the same map. This is a different map. Holy shit, this is even crazier. Fearless, you're a genius. Hang on. So guys, if you guys are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join it immediately. But this is what Fearless just sent there. On this map, this is not the map that's on StarWars.com. Wayland is right next to Merker. Right next door. You know what's not right next door to Wayland here? Merker. It's not even there. So what we're looking at here, I can put these two side by side for a second. Wayland, and we just have to sort of flip this map a little bit. Wayland, and see that line right there? These three lines. 1, 2, 3. Those are the lines between the inner rim, the mid rim, and the outer rim, or something like that. Hang on, let's see. The inner rim, what's blue? Inner rim, expansion region, and mid rim, and outer rim. So the blue up here, the darker blue, is the outer rim. The pink or whatever is the mid rim. The expansion region is the blue, and the inner rim is the orange. So on this map that we're looking at here, Merker is right inside that inner rim line, meaning it would be right where my mouse is right now. Right where that is. Right there. We have a missing planet, chat, and it's not Camino, it is not At-Aten. This is awesome. This is awesome. I love that. And this is also N7, where it says this is the block of N7 on the map, where the website itself claims the planet to be. Shit, where was that? M. Merker. N7. This right here is N7. So it should be right there. And it's not. Is this all just a big mistake? Or are they doing this on purpose? Are the Yalamari, who are natives of Merker, really going to play a big part in Grand Admiral Thrawn's heir to the Empire? Imagine Ahsoka Season 2 has Thrawn on Dathomir, going and taking over At-Aten, going and taking over Wayland, going and taking over Mandalore, maybe even. Maybe not. They just got their homeworld back. Let's leave them be for a minute, okay? Let them have their homeworld for just a couple seconds. But he goes and takes over At-Aten, goes and takes over Wayland, and Merker. This would allow them to go, look, we update this map when a new planet is introduced. And then you see, like, Merker just appear on the map. Oh, that'd be so crazy. That'd be awesome. That would be insane. Oh, I missed the super chat. Hang on. I missed the super chat. Wait a second. I Hodge with the very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that quite a bit. Says the Acolyte planets, Brendok, Edu, and Kofar are not on this map either, just so you know. Will they be added? Huh. Do an Ewok impression? Okay, remind me to do that. Are these... Wait, what? Are they on the list? Let's try and find Kofar. Is it Kofar? Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Here we go. Is it KH, I think, right? Kofar. KH. I do believe. Maybe not. Oh, here we go. KH. Kofar. Huh. It's not even on this list? Or am I missing it? How is it spelled? Hang on. Hang on, chat. Kofar. Okay, it's not there. Should be right in here, and it's not. That's very strange. Let's try Brendok, I guess. Brendok will be all the way up at the top of the list. Close to it, at least. BR. Brendok. Should be right in here. It's not. Huh. So Acolyte planets are not on here? That's weird. The Acolyte is new, but it's over a year old. How about a planet from Andor Season 2? What's a new planet from Andor Season 2? Gorman? Is Gorman? Yeah, Gorman's a new planet, right? Gorman. No, it's not. Gorman Massacre. Is there any new planets from Andor Season 2? Not Yavin. Not Coruscant. Does anybody have a new planet from Andor Season 2? What do we think? The grass planet? Oh, Mina Rao. Yes, Mina Rao. Let's see. Mina Rao. Holy crap. There's so many planets on this freaking list. Here we go. Is it M-I, I think? Mina Rao. Here we go. M-I. I guess it's not here. Maybe it's not updated. maybe the last year of content is not on here. Acolyte and Andor stuff. Huh. That still wouldn't explain why Merker's not on here. Merker didn't come out over the last year. Interesting. Interesting. Niemos was in season 1. Aldani was in season 1 too. So I'm guessing those planets are on it because it was, yeah, Steergard was on the map. So maybe it's not, but At-Aten is too. Yeah, you're right. At-Aten was way after the Acolyte. Huh. That's weird. I don't know. This map is got my mind boggled right now. I don't know what to think. Okay. That's weird. That's very weird. Let me end this poll, by the way. Wow, 56, that bounced up big time. 56% of you say yes. You think Andor is the best Star Wars TV show? Kind of got to disagree with that. It's definitely top tier for sure. But is it better than Rebels? Is it better than the Clone Wars? Those are the questions. Season 2, maybe. Individual seasons, but as a show. Cinderella is on the map, yes. Yeah. Random question, Mike. How old are you? Well, I did just have a birthday last month. No, it's July now. 2 months ago, May 30th. And I turned 23. So I'm still 23, sadly. Yeah. What? Now, Mina Rao is definitely spelled M-I. I think. You look older than that? I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not. You know what? I'm going to take that as a compliment. Thank you. Thanks. My birthday's Monday? Oh, happy birthday, RG. Can we get some happy birthdays to RG in the chat? My oldest son is 28. Nice. Nice. You'll need to contact the younglings to find the missing planet. I'm gonna have to go talk to Master Yoda. That's the first thing I'm gonna do after this live stream ends. Is I gotta go contact Master Yoda because we gotta find this missing planet, like ASAP. This is number one priority. Merker is missing, and we need to find it. Yeah. Mike is 23, but he's actually 423. He's an alien. Okay. Sure. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. No, but there was one other thing I wanted to get to today. Hang on, where is it? Oh, this was pretty cool. This wasn't the thing I was talking about, but take a look at this. Has anybody gone and seen the new Jurassic World yet? I believe it came out yesterday or today. Jurassic World. Has anybody gone and seen Jurassic World Rebirth? It's called, I think. Rebirth? Yeah. Has anybody gone and seen Jurassic World Rebirth? Yes or no? The Max Rebo Experience. What's up? How we doing? Sorry I'm late. Can we start over? Yeah, hang on. Let me just... Oh yeah, is it Thursday already? Darth Maul? Is it Andor Season 2? Heir to the Empire. Legends vs. Canon. We're breaking it all down today. And did you know that Jurassic World Dominion? Or not Dominion, sorry. Rebirth is directed by the same guy who did Rogue One? And there's a Star Wars Easter egg in there? Star Wars Easter egg? So... Jurassic World Rebirth is directed by Gareth Edwards, the man, the myth, the legend who directed Rogue One of the best Star Wars movies of all time. And this was pretty cool. Take a look at this. Rogue One director Gareth Edwards reveals that he was inspired by Star Wars in creating the D-Rex. First of all, didn't know that was a thing. The D-Rex, not the T-Rex, the D-Rex, in Jurassic World Rebirth. As he said this, we put a little bit of rancor from Star Wars, but don't tell people who work on Star Wars. So this is the Rancor, of course, from Return of the Jedi. And this is, oh wow, this is the D-Rex. Okay, 3 claws, 3 claws. That face. Did he just rip off Star Wars in the new Jurassic World movie? Did he just take his Rogue One knowledge and Star Wars knowledge and take it to the Jurassic World franchise? Chat? Are Rancors now canon to Jurassic Park? It's literally a Rancor. It's got the 3 claws. It's got the crooked smile. That's pretty wild. Huh. The more you know. Master Beckham, what's up? How we doing? Appreciate you. Appreciate. We need a T-Rex X-Wing right now? No, we don't. The body doesn't look the same at all? Okay, well, I can't really see the body, but I'll take your word for it. Pretty good. That's pretty damn good. Gareth Edwards. I'd like to see him come back and do Star Wars, even though he said he doesn't want to. But even still, I'd like it. I'd be down for it. Are we doing call-ins? You guys want to do call-ins today? We can do some call-ins. If you guys are in the Discord, I'll open the call-in stage and we can maybe do some call-ins if you guys want. Let's start a stage. Call-ins. Let's do it. Let's do it. Why not? Last stream before vacation, let's do some call-ins. All right, if you guys want to hop in there, you just got to raise your hand and then I'll get you on in. Let's do it. Let me leave that open so I can see if one of you do that. Oh, hang on. Star Wars nerd, let's get you on in here. Oh. Okay, you left. Who is Colin? Colin is this guy who works in the Discord, and we use him to be able to talk to each other. Everything goes through Colin. We lost Star Wars nerd. He was in, but he technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. So this is the last stream before vacation. Yes. Quick reminder while we get some people in for the call-ins. There will be no live stream on Saturday or Tuesday or Thursday. So no live stream for a whole week moving forward because I am going on vacation. There will still be content on the channel. I got shorts posted for every single day. We got polls going. I got a couple videos ready to go too. So we'll have some stuff ready to go. So you won't be just stranded. Hodge, let's get you on in here. Hodge. Hodge. Hello? Hodge, is that you? Hodge, are you there? Okay, we'll see if he can fix his end. I don't know what happens. More technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on. It's not working. Odd. Yeah. I don't know what the hell that was. No worries, Brandon. No worries. I know a guy named Boba who rode one of those. Yes, it's honestly an underrated scene. Because the Book of Boba Fett gets so much hate, him riding the Rancor in that finale is pretty damn good. Yeah. Pretty damn good. Let's do this. Let's do this instead. I don't know why. Is this not working? Is that one? For some reason, this is not working. Oh, let's try Ayahaja again. What is going on here? I heard you. Oh. Hello? 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 Haji, I think you're muted on your end or something. Can't hear you. Okay. Hello, hello. Maybe the Collins are just broken today. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's on my end. I don't know. Maybe they don't want us to do Collins today. Merkur is listed as canon. Well, I'm sure it's a canon planet, but it's not on the list. I don't know. Sorry about that. It's not working. Maybe the Collin thing is broken. Let me end it and try and start it again. We'll try one more time. Start up a new stage. See if this works. Maybe it just doesn't want to work. Wait, what? Now it's doing a weird loading thing. Oh, okay. Let's try that one more time, and we'll see. Yeah. So Merkur, the missing planet, we're going to have to get to the bottom of that. I'm definitely making a video on that. So I'll have 2 videos, I think, done before I can leave. So watch over a video. I don't know when I'll post them. Maybe Sunday, Wednesday. So it's like evenly spread throughout the week because I'll be gone for that amount of time. So maybe Sunday, Wednesday. Yeah, well, I think Sunday, Wednesday will work probably the best. But we'll see. We shall see. Yeah. What do we think? Sunday, Wednesday work good for you guys? The videos are going to be pretty damn epic, as you guys know, of course. Oh, let's try and get iHodge in here. One more time. Hello there. Hello. You're very laggy. That's all right. All right, we'll get you on out of here. I appreciate the attempt. Collins, I guess, don't want to work today for some reason. I don't know what that's about. But I guess we'll just have to do it when we get back. That is weird. Yeah, Collins are broken. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Yeah. We'll fix it when we get back. That's a posts problem. That's a posts vacation problem. Do you like the sequels, Mike? That's a loaded question. I actually really like The Force Awakens. I like what The Force Awakens does for setting up a lot of characters. The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker are not my favorites, but again, I can still sit there and watch The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker and have a fun time. Like those like Kylo Ren is a really great character to me. I'm not the biggest fan of Rey, but still she's like good. Like Daisy Ridley does a good job. Finn is great, still very underutilized, but still great. Poe Dameron's great. Babu Frick carries the whole damn trilogy, even though he's only in one movie. And yeah, I mean, there's aspects of it that I really like. I don't like it more than the prequels. I don't like it more than the originals, but I'm not going to sit here and go, I hate it. No. That's just not the case. Plus, it's 2015 to 2019, so the visual effects are unbelievably good. That's been the same thing across Disney Plus too, but yeah. Yeah. C-3PO's been in every movie. That's true. That is true. All right, but I did get in touch with Billy Jackson, he did reach out. So the giveaway is not being given away again. You'll have to wait for the end of July. So that's all settled. Yeah. Maul in Andor Season 2. Heir to the Empire is coming, but the canon version is going to look a lot different than the Legends version. So don't freak out when it's a lot different. But vacation time for me. Hopefully you guys can have a nice break from my, annoyingness and nonstop talking. So you get a break from that for a while. Watch out for a video on Sunday, Wednesday. We're going to go Sunday, Wednesday. It works great because, Sunday, Wednesday. Maybe Sunday, Thursday. Because it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 2 days until then. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because I won't be back until Saturday. I'll just check out the Discord and you'll figure it out. We'll have shorts every single day and polls throughout the week too. So watch out for the community tab and all that great stuff. So yeah, smash a freaking like on this stream if you have not already. How many likes do we have, chat? Am I gonna be upset? 49. That's crazy. Smash a freaking like on this stream if you have not already. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. In my pretty face will show up with a recommended feed of yours. Take vacation off, Mike. No work allowed. I'm not going to be working on vacation. I already have this stuff scheduled and ready to go, except for one of the videos that I'm going to make now about Merker. But I got tomorrow to do that. I got tonight and tomorrow to figure that out. But I appreciate it. I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. Smash a freaking like in this stream if you have not already. And yeah, Maul is in Andor Season 2. That's the crazy world we live in now. But until next time, which won't be until next week, reminder, no live stream Saturday, no live stream Tuesday, no live stream Thursday. Don't be anticipating it. It's not coming. But until next time, smash a freaking like this stream, and may the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you'll ever know. Thank you for all these. Enjoy your vacays, Mike. I will try my best. Last time I went on this vacation, because I go on this vacation every year with my family, I had to come back for the Acolyte. I came back on a Tuesday, did the Acolyte, did the breakdowns, and went back on vacation on a Wednesday. Thankfully, this year, I will not have to do that. I can go through a whole week without having to come back home during the middle of a vacation. But it was worth it. The Acolyte was great. So, yeah, there's that. So this week, undisturbed vacation. But I appreciate you guys so much more than you'll ever know. I certainly hope you'll all be waiting here back once we get there. But until then, hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.